So there's one quote that you made here. You said that the uselessness of the church in time of crisis. If the churches and the mosques have been closed in crisis times, you need to rethink. Grand rise to all of us, honor to the universe, and that is what is within you. So, can you elaborate more on this statement for me, please?
Okay, so for what we know of African culture, of Africa in general and Christianity, is that we know most of these churches do a lot of healing and business. I call it business because these healings are not for free. At the end of the day, you're going to pay some consultation. Pastor will tell you when bring this and that. So it's a business. Some even have healing schools and all that. So all these things were in session. And then Corona came, and somehow I remember when even Corona started, there was one Archbishop in Ghana who was praying ceaselessly, like Corona can't cross the borders into the country and all that.
Yeah.
And before we realized, the cases were already manifesting, and the churches were closed. Now, when the churches were about to be closed, these same bishops went for council meeting, and in the meeting, you realized all of them were wearing nose masks.
Wow.
Now, at that point, the question a lot of us were asking is, if the Bible says by God's stripes or by the stripes of Jesus, we are all healed, then there's even no way we should even be. You see, the point is, excuse me to say, Christians are not thinking. We just don't think when you're in church, We just read the Bible for passion. We read it because that is what we have been sidelined only to know. For me, the first time I had the freedom to read anything outside the Bible was somewhere 2008 when I traveled abroad, and I had access to the internet, and now I could research and all that. But apart from that, because those days, I came from this Pentecostal church where there are strict rules and laws. Don't ever go out of the church. Don't read this. Don't do that. So that's all we stuck to. You don't even have the liberty to think about other things. So when I traveled, so for me, I'll say my awakening probably started somewhere 2008. But because of that fear, they are conditioned in me. I stayed outside for 2 years. When I came back to Ghana, that fear quickly re-entered me, and then I started going back to church, and that was it. I was asleep for almost 8 years again, so I'll wake up again. So the point is, if God says by the stripes of Jesus we are healed, if he says that the death of Jesus took away all the burdens and sins of the world, and then somehow there's a pandemic and the church has to close, the church that is supposed to be a healing center is closed, then there are so many questions, so many unanswered questions, so at that point, and like I'm saying, there were healing schools before this Corona thing came. And when all the churches were closed, the healing schools were also closed, to the extent that there were directives if any church should open, and the authorities were going around and arresting some of these people and all that. Then at that point, probably God had also gone on leave or run away from Christianity because of Corona. So it means God, in fact, God is non-existent. It's all about you. It's like you woke up in the morning feeling very hungry, you enter your kitchen, you see food, and like, God, fill my belly, and you expect to be full. It doesn't work that way. God is what everything we see around us. There are the trees, when you need shade, you go under the tree. For somebody in a rainy season, God is the umbrella. If they are going out and they don't have an umbrella, I mean, the whole day is mad. So God is the universe you see around. Of course, there's a spiritual side to this world that those who delve deeper into spirituality encounter, and they know there are other worlds. But apart from that, God is everything we see around us, and that's it. So God is basically useless. But yeah, we're still sending the messages out, hoping that someday a few people will also think. And some of these videos help, because once in a while someone drops into your inbox and it's like, I watched your video, it helped, I'm thinking through and all that. And so yeah, gradually we are just doing what we can, and we hope the effects will ripple on, yes, in the near future.
That's good. We hope so. What's your take on reincarnation too?
Yeah, reincarnation. Unfortunately, these were subjects that the church never discussed. For us, they told us that when you die, somehow your soul goes to wait somewhere until is it the rapture or the second coming of Christ. And then I've forgotten that some of these scriptures that
Okay.
is like Jesus will drop from the sky. So sometimes the question I used to ask at that point is, this big sky we see around us, is it going to be so big like a giant that everybody wherever you see will see Jesus dropping? Is he going to drop in Africa or Europe or Asia? As for Asia, I'm sure they'll bump him before Jesus drops down, so he won't even go there.
Good question.
Maybe he'll drop in Africa because that's where the majority of people are. But the point is, Christians in Christianity were not taught about reincarnation. All that they told us was that people die and they are just in the earth until the second coming of Jesus. And for all I know, people have waited and they have died through the waiting. But the beautiful thing about reincarnation is that even when we're religion, there were instances where you could enter a place or meet people, and for some strange reason, you have these goosebumps, like you've met this person before, you have been in this place before, you know, having recurring dreams of events probably you've never encountered before. And then when you start the spiritual journey, there's something we call divination. So when you go for this divination, it can help to know that probably this dream or this place you are having this nostalgic feeling about, or this person you met, you feel like you've known this person somewhere, could be from a past life. If it's from a past life, then it means your spirit has lived in this world before, has performed some functions. And reincarnation basically is so because the soul or the spirit doesn't die, reincarnation is the opportunity for the soul to take on another body so we can continue whatever work we couldn't finish in a past life, or any venture, even relationships and all that. So reincarnation is a very interesting part of life. You know, it takes you into places. Recently I was reading a book where there was this boy who took on an initiation in his hometown. That's a cultural or traditional African hometown. And in some of these initiations, there are some rituals they perform for them such that they're able to teletransport into a spiritual world where they could see into their past life, places they lived in, whether they were married, anything you wanted to know, you could ask questions and spirit show these things to you. So reincarnation is real. We have always been in this world and we continue to recycle. I'm not so much into this spiritual literature and all that, but when you read some manuscripts, it tells you that every human being has a number of times they have to reincarnate into this world to learn lessons in life so they can like transmute into a higher life or something. And so divination can help you know some of these things, for you to know what number of your reincarnated life you are spending on this earth, what lessons you have to learn, anything you have to do, probably places, some work you have to do. So reincarnation is a very interesting part of life in this place that we know.